Pro tips from Barry's Auto Body, Staten Island's only eco-friendly full-service auto body repair facility. We accept all insurance companies.
If by accident we should meet, Barry's will help you get back on the street.
How you doing? I'm Barry from Barry's Auto Body. Today we're going to try out a new ceramic coating product that we just got in. We'll see how this one works compared to the other one. It's basically Black Pearl Ceramic SiO2 ceramic coating, liquid glass. This is basically, just so people know, ceramic coating. Anybody that's done construction or anything like that, if you've ever used liquid glass, it's very similar to like an epoxy primer or epoxy paint, I should say, not primer, or liquid glass or something like that. It's kind of what the coating is, but it's for cars. And this is by Brite. It's a Black Pearl edition. One point that I want to make the sales rep when he came down, I'm going to talk to him about this when I see him, but when he was promoting this product and he was telling me about it, he was basically telling me that this Black Pearl ceramic coating was if you wanted to do the car with a professional shine that would last about 5 years. And what he was saying was that this particular one was if you wanted to ceramic coat the car and have it only last 1 year. Now, one thing after doing a little bit of research on it, that wasn't actually correct, what it is. So I'm only saying this because if you do get a lot of the times when you see on YouTube somebody promoting a product, or you see anywhere really online, they're promoting a product, make sure it's actually what they're promoting, because this is not a ceramic coating. A lot of the quick sprays that you see online, quick ceramic coats, things that come with another product, this is only made to go on once you've actually ceramic coated a car, and once it's actually done, this is something that you do maybe once a year to kind of spruce it up a little bit. But something like this particular quick coat is not a ceramic coating at all. So if you haven't actually ceramic coated the car with a full 5-year ceramic coating on it, then this isn't going to do you any good. It's only after you've done that. So just, I would be careful of the products that you all get online. Make sure it's an actual, there is no shortcuts when it comes to ceramic coating. It's not anybody trying to sell some kind of quick spray-on ceramic coating. There's no such thing. It doesn't work like that. One thing I am going to do when I take it out of the box too, that I recommend that everybody do, I'm not going to go right for, I don't want to get all the microfiber or the application pads or anything dirty. I know that it does come with a set of gloves, so I'm going to go right for the set of gloves first, if I could find them. Just so I don't get, I don't want to get all the oils of my fingers on any of the applicators or really any of the microfiber towels or anything. Let's see if these gloves fit. I got some big hands. I don't know. Oh my God, these things are tight. I may have to substitute these for my own gloves inside, but they work. All right. Just so that when I do go through the products and I'm sitting there showing everything off, I'm not getting all the oils and everything in my finger on the products. Because once you do the ceramic coating, just like a liquid glass, there's no redoing. And once that goes in there, you have to make sure it's done right, because if you get little imperfections in there, you're stuck with them. They're not going to come out later on. You're not going to be able to get the ceramic coating on because you messed it up. To get it off is it's a process to get it off. I mean, you can damage the paint getting it off. You want to make sure you do it right. All right, so basically what we have in here, start with the microfiber. The microfiber cloths that come with it. This would basically be, as far as this particular, only because I was just looking at the directions in here, they call this a high pile, which high pile just means it's a microfiber, and you see how it's high pile is just like a rug. It's just a higher rug, basically. You have two different microfiber towels in here. This would be the high pile, and this is the low pile. This very flat surface, very smooth. So this would be considered the low pile. Now, the way to fold the microfibers, It comes in a square, so you definitely want to fold it. And I'm not that good of a folder. I normally go to the laundromat to get my clothes done, so this is it's not that easy for me. But I'll try to get the best fold I can on these. But basically what you do when you fold it into 4. So you fold it into 4 for a couple reasons. First, when you put it on your hand, it makes it very flat when you're actually going over the car. It just gives you a flatter surface while you're going over the car. And it also gives you the option as you're using it, this side will be clean, and then when I want to flip over to this side, I could use this side clean. Then when I want to open it up, I could open it up and I could go here and just flip it over. Now I have 2 other clean sides, and then as I'm using it, I could sit there and just keep doing that, and then I could flip it back around. Oh, if I can get it open. And I could go into another 4 sides on the other side. So that's why you would flip it into 4, and every time that you're using it, when you're doing 4, you have a nice flat, even surface to do it on. So this is the high pile microfiber. I just want to make sure I keep these clean. I'm not going to put them down on any dirty surface or anything like that, because once I do, you got to throw them out. They're no good. I almost dropped that one too. Good thing I didn't. But this is, I'll leave that there. This is the low pile microfiber. Again, we would fold this into 4s. This one may be tough to fold into 4s, a little bit smaller. All right, so with microfiber like this, we would actually probably better off just fold it into 2. This way we can get a nice even pass on it. If it was bigger, I would use 4, but on this particular one, I'll see when I'm in there. I'm gonna kind of measure that out. I mean, depending on how it applies, you could sometimes do it like this. If you can get a nice flat, get it on your hand nice and flat, and you'll have a couple more tries on it just to go around. Basically, this way you always get a clean side. Or if you want, it can be used like this also. It's big enough though where I'll probably use it as 4, because I'll be able to, I could still get it on my entire hand, and I could still get a nice flat surface on it, and then I'll get more time to actually flip over and use a clean side. So I will use this one as 4s too. Let's see. I just want to make sure I keep all the stuff together, and most importantly, keep it clean and dry. Because if you get water or any kind of dirt on it, it's no good. This is basically the applier, or applicator. I don't know if applier is really a word, but applicator. And obviously there's some kind of a lining that goes here where they stitch it together. You don't want to apply it with that side. I'm not going to apply it with this, but the other 3 sides, you know, this is really the main applicator or applier. Would be here. You just want to do it with a nice flat side. And this, when you put the actual chemical on, we would put it on here. As far as the directions saying 7 drops. But basically, we would put it on here, and that's where we would actually apply it on the car. Now, the actual material is here, and this is basically, it's a liquid glass, so it will, when it goes down, you don't have to worry about it being level so much, because it will level itself as it's, you know, as long as you're applying it right. This is basically the black pearl. This is the actual ceramic. Now, when you use this, you have a seal. Now, one thing you don't want to do, once you break this seal, you have to be ready to use it. Wouldn't recommend to break the seal, and if you only use half a bottle, to sit there and try to use this a week later or a month later, because this is only, here, we'll break the seal, we'll open it up. This is only a 1-part product. You do have a lot of times products like this would come where it's a 2-part product, where you're putting a hardener in it and you're putting the product in, which is, you know, most clears are that way. They'll come with a hardener or a reducer. This particular product is just it's a single, you know, single stage, however you want to call it, but it's a 1-part product, which means that it's going to dry all on its own. So if I sat there and if I crack this open, once the air hits it, it's going to start the drying process. I mean, it doesn't dry right away, away. But if I try to use this a week later and it's a little bit hardened, what may happen is you put it on the car, you may get lumps and things like that. So I wouldn't, once I crack that seal, I have to be ready to use it. I mean, it's not going to dry in an hour or so, but I mean, you really got to be ready to use it that day to actually use on the car. I wouldn't open the seal until I was actually, the whole car was clean and everything was ready to go. This is one of the last things that you do. All right, so let me keep this in here just so it doesn't get all dirty and everything. We'll bring it out to the car. Right now we're in the office. I just wanted to show you everything on it. But remember, this is the actual ceramic coating. And then this from Black Pearl is a speed spray. This is not a ceramic coating. This is something that you kind of spruce up the ceramic coating that you do to the car maybe a year later or something like that. You could just keep, bringing the shine back out to it. So, all right, I want to thank you. And if you want, come inside. We'll go into the shop and I'll show you how this stuff actually works. We're going to show you how to apply it. We're in the shop. This is my shop, Barry's Auto Body, and we also do detailing. I'm going to show you how we apply it. A couple things that I was noticing, just looking through the directions, because this is the first time that we're using the Black Pearl ceramic coating, and a couple things which most ceramic coatings are like this, but I'd like to point out. It says must be applied in temperatures 55 degrees to 85 degrees Fahrenheit, below 50% humidity. And apply only with proper lighting. Proper lighting is very important. You don't really see around, but basically in here, I mean, the amount of lights we have with a lot of LED, T5 lighting, it's all high intensity lighting. Proper lighting is very important really in anything that we do on a car. When it comes to the body shop side, repairing the panels, changing panels, especially on the detail side, there's actually a couple lights that I'm going to grab just to put on the car to give it a little bit more light while I'm actually applying this. But these are a couple things that I was noticing. As far as the detail on the car, you can notice at this point the car is already completely clean. It's polished. I am going to put a little bit of Prepsol on. I'll do that in a minute. But right now, where we're picking up is after the car is completely clean. We did a full compound, wax, polish, complete and total detail on the car. There are a couple imperfections on the paint, but it was basically, I have the choice where I could either repaint the hood here if I wanted 100%, but this actually is my own car. And I decided not to paint the hood. I know I own a body shop and everything, but I didn't really see the need to paint the hood just for a little nick. So I'm going to leave it. I'm going to do the ceramic coating over that. You do have to remember, though, if something like that is going to bother you before you do the ceramic coating, you have to paint the hood. And once you paint it, you can't paint any part on a car and then ceramic coat right away. You're really supposed to wait at least a month before you wax or do anything to it. So we are going to do the ceramic coating right on this. Most of the car doesn't have too many imperfections, but any imperfections that you see on the car, once you do the ceramic coating, it's not even like a wax where you're going to lock them in. The ceramic coating, you're locking them in for good. The only way you're going to get them out, to strip a ceramic coating, it's almost, you basically, it's not much different than just stripping the paint and repainting the car. So once you do the ceramic coating, everything is going to be in there, and it's not something you can just take off and redo. Basically, a couple things that I'd like to point out. First, this is just to blow the car off, because even though everything is clean on the car, I was noticing that, if we look over here, just something as simple as that. You have a little drip of water coming out. That has to be cleaned off, because if I ceramic coat with that drip of water, it's going to ruin the entire ceramic coat right there. And just something as simple as that will cause a problem later on. I also want to make sure, I'm going to double check, because I know this car was already blown off with an air blower. I'm doing a ceramic coating, so I really want to make sure that the inside, that there's no water that's going to actually come out while I'm coating the car. So give me a second, I'll grab a air hose. Gonna tape off half the car today, just so you can see the difference. And we're basically gonna do a 3-month trial with the ceramic coating after we apply it. So I'm gonna do the ceramic coating on the right side of the hood, and we're gonna do the ceramic coating on the right side of the fender also, and then we're gonna compare the difference. One thing I wanna do, the microfiber towel, because you will get lint and things like that, and I don't want lint in the car. I don't want it on the ceramic coating on the car, basically. So just want to make sure you dust it off, just so there's no loose particles that are going to come off while you're actually doing the work. But this one, I mean, right out of the pack, you can see got lint all over it. You know, that little lint will end up right in that ceramic coating, so clean it all off. Just try to get rid of some of that lint. Right here, this is basically, we would use a Prepsol, you could use alcohol. In a nutshell, it's a wax and grease remover. You want to get rid of, when you wash the car, washing the car will get rid of, it'll get rid of a lot, but it's not going to get rid of everything. So I'm going to grab a different microfiber, because those are the ones that are there, the ones that came with the product. I want one first, because anything that's sold with the product, this is only to apply the ceramic. This is not for all the preparation that it takes to get to that step to apply the ceramic. You know, probably, I would say, probably 85% of the work that you're going to do in this is really before you even get to the ceramic coating stage. It's all the detail work that comes before it that really makes the biggest difference. It's like building a house on a shaky foundation, and it's not going to work out that good. Another thing that I'm doing with the Prepsol or alcohol, whatever you choose to use, the wax and grease remover, is I'm not putting it on the car and then wiping it off. I'm putting it onto, and this is important, you're better off putting it onto the microfiber and then wiping the car down. It just works better that way. Leaves less streaks. And what could end up happening with a dry microfiber, if certain areas on the microfiber are not wet, it could actually end up, especially with a black car, you could actually scratch the paint while you're doing it. So basically we're gonna, again, 2018 Range Rover, we're gonna apply this Brite Black Pearl Ceramic SiO2. I had a friend of mine who's actually in the back of the camera tell me that the SI stands for silicon and the O2 is oxygen. I don't know if that's correct or not, but it was, that's what he told me. I gotta look that up later to make sure that's actually true. So 7 to 10 drops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That seemed like a lot more than 7 to 10 drops. All right, let's see. So 2x2 pattern. You don't want to go too big because then it'll. So, and we're going to go in basically crosses. So I'm going to go in crosses. You got to basically buff it right away with the low pile. So I'm gonna go over. We're gonna buff it off real quick. In a little area. So I'm gonna buff it. Kind of working that in there. Working the ceramic right in there. So that's the first pass. Looks pretty good. Not going to let it dry, I want to get right into it. No time to fold. Let's see. I'll show you a little X. So that was the first pass. Second pass, I'm going to do a little bit more of a circular motion just to kind of mix up the two motions. I don't want to do the same thing both times. good. Definitely looks pretty good. And now I'm going to do the rest of the car hang tight. Give me 1 second, I'll be right back. I just finished the ceramic coating. This product, I actually like this product. That's the first glance. I want to see how it is in a couple months. Maybe about 3 months we're going to check it out. I may run a little bit of water on it after about a week or two just to see how it is. Basically, now that I've done it, I have to let it sit. This particular product, I mean, you do have to obviously read the instructions. This particular one says you have to let it sit for about 12 hours. It says not to get water on it, which to me that means let it sit, because if I do take it outside and God forbid I hit a puddle, I just don't want to take the chance. So I'm going to let it sit overnight. I love the shine on it. I mean, you can see the difference between this side and the other side. This has a really deep shine, whereas the other side has like a white haze to the other side it's not on the newly ceramic coated side. It seems like it really brings the black shine out a lot more. And I just love the way it really does. It looks like glass now. I'm going to have a line in my car for the next 3 months, but just so you guys can see the difference, I'll suffer a little bit. Another thing I was noticing, the products themselves, I've seen a lot of other ceramic products that either they don't come with, or even on YouTube, I've seen a couple guys doing the ceramic coating, and they're only using one type of microfiber. On this particular ceramic coating, I mean, this is with the black pearl. Definitely, I mean, you notice a huge difference when I was going over it with the first microfiber, which is it almost feels like a pool table, maybe even finer. It's a very, very fine microfiber, and all this basically does is kind of flatten it out. So this first one is going to flatten it out, and you see when you're first doing it with this one, it actually almost looks like you did it wrong, because when you're just flattening it out, it kind of clouds out. It doesn't look good. And then when you come over it with the second microfiber, and this one is a little bit more porous. This is basically like the high fill. It's the best way to think of it as like a thicker carpet. And you see everything comes up. This particular microfiber, when I went over with this, it smoothed the entire product out, and it was like night and day when you watch it with the first one. So it is important, and I understand now why they have the 2 passes on this particular version, and it works a lot better that way, where you go over it and you kind of smooth everything out. This way you get that glass-like finish. And then you go over with a microfiber towel afterwards, and this is what gives you that. You're basically buffing it out afterwards. The first one is to smooth it out. The second one is to buff it out and really bring that shine out. And you can just see on the preliminary looks, I mean, the shine speaks for itself. It really is. It's gorgeous. Thank you, and I guess I'll see you in 3 months.